Hi,
Just,
everyone.
it's so abrupt.
It's always so abrupt. It wouldn't be our intro if it had a nice. It's like you're in it now. You're in the show.
I don't
Like,
know.
get
I
that
really
blood pumping.
I want to have I want there like we're going from this epic thing to just like, hi, I'm in my
Hi,
office.
what you're saying is that we need to be cooler to match
Oh,
the
that's not
energy of the. That's not going to happen.
no.
That's a lot.
No,
That's
I'm
not going to
wearing
happen.
overalls. I am not exciting
Yeah,
as a person.
you look like you're ready for engineering duty.
I
Do something
am.
grubby. No, you look like Boimler when he's in the vine garden and he's like picking grapes in his, and he has like the brown overalls, which is what Captain Picard's older brother wears when he's making his wine. Other than Boimler isn't making it out of grapes, he's making wine out of something else. It's something
Thank you
less.
for
No, raisins. He's just making raisins. Sorry.
yes. No, it's totally fine. Yeah,
Woo.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That intro was exciting. There was
Thank
a lot
you,
of
Sci-Fi
excitement.
Brony.
And so yes, thank you, Sci-Fi Brony, for creating.
Yeah.
It was that the evil one?
The mirror universe, yeah.
How the fuck did Sci-Fi Brony know to make that?
Because he made one for everything. There's one for every series, and there's a mirror universe one. Because we go to the mirror universe quite a lot. So Enterprise changed its opening like credits when they did a series of mirror universe episodes, and that's that knife through the planet is the emblem. So yeah, just very lucky that we got to use it so quickly as well.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's great work.
I mean,
really,
I guess
really
it's
cool.
like if you're used to camping, you know you're going to need certain supplies because you know certain things are going to happen.
You need
like
to be prepped for this.
Toilet paper, a spade to dig out your little poo hole, these kinds of things. These are what you know if you're a camper. So
That's
I guess
waste. You should use that poo as fuel. You don't need to bury it. You keep it and you cook it. With it. You cook with it.
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's a fuel. Like you can burn it, right? I'm pretty sure you can burn poo.
I've never heard this in my life, but I'm not a camper. So let's go down this little rabbit trail that you have suddenly opened up before us.
Someone back me up.
Like a bunghole in space.
Yeah.
Okay, so you theorize / know that
fuel. Yeah.
You can take freshly. By the way, this is an R-rated show.
Yeah.
You can take fresh shit and plop it in the barbecue pit and light it aflame to help cook with.
No, I think you got to dry it out first. I think what Bear Grylls does is that he like squeezes the juice out of it, drinks the juice because it's really nutritious.
Who is doing this?
Bear Grylls. He's like a survival guy.
Okay.
And then you dry out the poop, and then you sprinkle it on the fire with the kindling, and it works as a fuel.
Okay, so
David Ellis backs me up, and this man is the smartest person I've ever met.
But you have to dry it first.
Yeah, you got to dry it out. Yeah.
Is that like when you make your own like dried fruit roll up? So you like press it down and then put it out, in the sun for days?
Yeah, I think that's exactly the same. Yeah.
Amazing. Wow.
Headline from a quick Google search: I burn poop to save money. It makes me happy. It's fair. Yeah.
Oh my God. The things that I learn.
Things that you learn
on the Star Trek show.
Speaking of burning things, so Aaron has like his wood fire thing in his house, and it like burns wood and it like keeps the house.
You mean the fireplace?
The fireplace. Shush. I keep getting articles sent to me saying how unhealthy it is, and that smoke is like super carcinogenic, and I just haven't got the heart to tell him yet because I think when he starts doing the research, he'll stop, and he's invested in like a lot of wood. And I know he'll stop when he realizes it's not good for you.
Solution. You ask to borrow his phone the next time you come to town, and you just search for it so that it auto-populates that information to him.
If I'm getting his phone, that's not what I'm doing with it.
What are you doing with his phone?
Messing with him so much more than that.
Isn't that kind of messing with him, though?
Maybe. I'm thinking more, like deeper.
Okay, carry on.
Don't put me on the spot because that's got to be really good.
No, it doesn't. It can be really stupid.
Oh, no, this would be so easy. I would just move it around. I would just move them around just a little bit, like just enough to be disconcerting. He thinks he's in a parallel universe.
One time I figured out on accident, I think I was at work. Like, I don't think I just mashed the right buttons together and it turned my screen completely upside down.
Oh, on the desktop? Yeah.
Freaked out. I thought I broke my computer.
Yeah, I can't
I mean, you
remember.
can undo it, but I was so alarmed because I remember thinking like, I'm going to have to pay for the repairs of this computer.
I don't know how you I know how you accidentally do it. It just happens. But I don't know how that's helpful. I don't know why that's ever helpful, unless you're in a situation where your monitor is upside down and you can't turn it around.
Now you know. Yeah. Here's a question from Flyboy. What would Mirror CinemaSins be like? Not being snarky about movies? Mirror Universe CinemaSins. Well, so if we're the evil version of ourselves, it would be like not just like in a joking fashion, mad about like we wouldn't be writing as if we're a snarky character. We would be actual
exactly what I was going to say.
Assholes.
The Mirror Universe version of CinemaSins is what a section of the internet thinks
that we are.
Actually is. If we actually were that, that's the Mirror Universe. We're just hideous people. Yeah.
I got a job at Chateau Picard.
You don't even realize it, but you are cosplaying. I'm gonna find an image that's gonna blow your mind.
Look at. I'm gonna. Hey, if I can work at Chateau Picard, I'd be very, very happy. I was watching an episode of Bluey with this is my life now because Iris is obsessed with Bluey.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I'm enjoying them as well. And in one of the episodes, she's camping and in the bush, and a fellow group of campers is there, and they're from France, and so it's like the kids sort of meet somewhere and they play together, but they don't speak the same language, and then they go back to their campsite, and then the boy from France ends up like not showing up the next day because they had to leave, and Bluey's bummed, but his name was Jean-Luc.
Oh.
And so I'm in the car listening to the episode because I tell her that it's a podcast, so we can only listen. It's great. And
okay, that works. Yeah.
I'm like, Jean-Luc, oh my God. And like, she has no idea why I'm so excited. And I try to explain it to her, and
she's not gonna get.
She didn't
bless her.
But I was really excited about it. Anyway, if I could get a job working, I'd be so enthusiastic about it. And then, like, you hope that you would just catch a glimpse of Picard.
But then I think they would have, like, a lot of filters for that to make sure that fan people don't get into it. And they're not just like, look, do you know who he is? Like, don't be here because you want to meet Captain Picard. Be here because you're good at your job.
Right.
Don't be bugging Jean-Luc.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up this picture.
Yeah, people that work at Disney, don't think you're going to meet Mickey Mouse, okay?
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Cow chips were used by settlers. See that makes sense but cow chips they dry out naturally out in the world somewhere. We're talking about like this. I've never thought about purposefully drying out your shit. Oh my God, I'm Boimler.
You did it. You accidentally cosplayed as Boimler.
I should go get the hat like that and then just like come back.
I can't believe you did that. It's amazing. Accidental cosplay.
So there's the theory that all replicator food is reused material from waste extraction.
I don't think that's a theory. I think that why wouldn't it be? Like, why wouldn't you reuse everything?
That's crazy. Anyway, I'm with you. Let's move on. And I know that this was an entire 10 minutes ago, but we're just doing
that's Wandering's default.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on.
Okay. You can. It does. It hurts my eyes too, and I always end up having the campfire smell happening. I actually lived in a house for a while that had a fireplace, but it was propane. There was a massive propane tank in the backyard. And so that's how we would, because it was like the only way to get the heat nice during the winter time because our heater was shit. And so the house would just smell like propane. And I hated it so much. We lived there for years. And I was constantly like, will I die of propane inhalation?
And yet, the smell of gas or petrol smells amazing.
It does not.
I love going to petrol stations and just smelling the petrol.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah, it smells great.
Okay, so then I have a confession because I don't want you to be alone in your weirdness.
Okay.
No, you're lying. I'm not going to confess anything.
I'm not lying.
No,
I
you're
genuinely, you should not sniff the fumes, but I really like it. Yeah, I really, really like it. You can call me a lunatic. It's fine.
I like the smell of barns.
Barns? Manure? But that's actual poo.
It's not just poo.
Okay, poo and urine.
Animal sweat and hay and...
You're weird. Full judgment. Those overalls have
such
broken
an asshole. Oh my God.
The smoke doesn't go up the chimney. It goes everywhere. It isn't just contained to the chimney.
I also smacked my forehead today, Sarah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thankfully, I don't think I've bruised, but it was pretty hard. Did not feel good.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh, do I?
It doesn't make any less sense.
Mirror Universe CinemaSins would be crossing the line every time.
Yeah, now we only do it like once a month.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I have to point out some mistakes that Ian makes. Please do. Please do.
Oh, please go ahead. I'm sure I've made plenty. It happens all the time.
Danae is the groundskeeper at Starfleet Academy. Boothby?
Boothby?
Is that?
Yeah, that's another good one. Hang on a minute. Let's bring up
yes. The Darmok Bluey episode? I didn't even know. I haven't seen them all. Is there really a Darmok Bluey episode?
There is. There's one that's been called Darmok. Not called Darmok. It's been called Darmok by fans.
Okay.
It's very similar.
Okay.
Okay,
I know. We're so behind on the chat. That's okay.
Fine. I'm too busy getting pictures. Here we go. Okay, let's. This is amazing. I love it so much.
When are you going to start watching Star Trek with your daughter? This is a great question. Question. I think pretty soon. She is very picky about what she watches. So I kind of have to be a bit cautious on what to introduce her to. She's very sensitive to certain visuals. Oh my God, I am that man.
You've done it again. You're Boothby.
I'm Boothby. He looks familiar.
We've seen him. Have we seen him in an episode?
Super familiar. Who plays Boothby? No. Like, I mean, just in general as an actor. Hold on.
Oh, gotcha. I don't know what else he would be in.
Is the actor that plays Boothby? Boothby?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Boothby.
All right, let's take a look. Ray Walton. He passed away in 2001 at the age of 86.
Oh.
Let's take a look at...
Good innings.
He was in My Favorite Martian. Man, he did a lot. Holy shit, he did a lot.
For a second, Flyboy, I read that as Ray Winston, and that would be a very different Boothby.
Who was he? No, that probably wasn't it. He guest starred in a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to figure out, like, he has a really familiar face to me. He did an AT&T long distance TV commercial in 1995. That's got to be it.
What I love is that in the chat, back to back, Flyboy said, damn Yankees. David Ellis said, damn Yankees. Wandering Winder said, damn Yankees. So this is a reference. I don't know what it is.
Oh, no. Yeah, you need to explain that. He played the grandfather Walter Adams in Adams Family Reunion. He appeared in the film remake of his hit series, My Favorite Martian. I wonder if that was it. Like, maybe I just saw some of that. It's always difficult when you see somebody in a show and you immediately know you recognize them somehow, and then you're just fanning through your brain trying to figure it out. It often happened for me when I would see the adult actor from a show that I watched when I was a kid when they were a child.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so familiar looking, but I don't know why. So
yeah,
that's hard. But now we have
the interwebs.
The interwebs, and I can just figure it out.
We're not going to have that elation when you figure it out. Like when you organically get there yourself and you're like, that's where they're from.
I used to be fine waiting, but after having a child and so much of my brain power is like rerouted to decision making and keeping her alive, I have nothing left. They say like mom brain, and I hate that. But I was reading an article when I first was pregnant about like what to expect. And one of them is this concept that you can only make so many decisions in one day. Like your brain isn't designed to just run all the time. And so when you have so many allotted to keeping your child and making decisions for your child, it's just like the brain power just kind of turns off and you stop making decisions you just don't need to make. I don't remember where I read it, so it's probably bullshit, but it made sense to me at the time because I was like, I'm having a hard time thinking of a word.
I think in general, we're just not as good at multitasking as we think we are. We have very limited resources and it can be
It was a significant change in my life from before I had child to after I had child. Like we're talking about, I'm on a morning show, witty as fuck. I'm pulling things out left and right. And then to like, I don't remember how to spell the word of today. Like it felt like I had a brain trauma. It was, it's been crazy. So kind of, I know what you're saying, but also you don't know what you're talking about until you've had a child.
Neither of us know what we're talking about. We're not doctors. We are pulling from anecdotes.
All right. I'll just say this and then we can move on. I know what I'm talking about because I'm talking about it from personal experience. So you can keep poking at it if you want to, but I wouldn't poke anymore. I will start.
Oh, I haven't got my thing. Where is it?
Just put everything back in my mouth.
Star Trek, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Man.
I love that we have that as a
Star
soundbite.
Trek, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, amazing. Was there a lot of that this week, Danae?
With what?
Star Trek, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, you mean, well, we're not doing the show yet. I can't talk about it.
Oh, okay. That's true.
It's true. I really can't figure out where I know this guy from. He's like he's mostly like a guest star. Like he guested
kind of like
a lot.
That person there, yeah. And I doubt you've seen the chat was saying about Fast Times at Richmond High. I don't think I haven't seen that. I don't think you would have seen it.
No, I don't think I did. But it makes me sad because I feel like I know. I feel like I know him from somewhere. But I think I should move on. Because everybody's probably ready to start the show.
I think so.
Let's do that. Thank you everybody for joining us and hanging out with us on a Friday. We are going to be talking about Discovery Mirrors today, the final season of Discovery. Ian and I are both CinemaSins writers, and so this podcast is on the CinemaSins Podcast Network. And you can catch all of the other things we've done on this show on multiple platforms. You can watch it on Twitch for the couple weeks that exists on Twitch, but we also have all of this content for the live show, at least part of it, and also the completed podcast on our CinemaSins Podcast Network channel on YouTube. I say this because some people watch this show later and don't know where to find it. So that's why I'm saying it. While we do the show live, we don't interact with the live audience like we do at the beginning and the end because we're recording the actual bulk of our show. So you get to see all of the shenanigans happen live. We're not afraid. You are, and you should be. We're an R-rated show because we're adults. And we say things that children probably shouldn't hear. So just keep that in mind as you listen to the show. And that's it. Oh,
that's the one.
We're live on Twitter. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitch on 2 different channels, both the CinemaSins live channel and also my channel. And so if you're wanting to like join other people chatting, Usually people congregate both on YouTube on the CinemaSins Podcast Network and also onto the CinemaSins Live Twitch channel. And you can find that by going to twitch.tv/CinemaSins Live, or you can search for CinemaSins Podcast Network on YouTube.
I did it. I did the thing. I did the banner at the bottom.
But I usually put that on when we go live.
Shit. Damn it.
But you did it.
It's a good job we're going live now.
Oh
Wait,
my
no, we are live.
God. Oh my God. That is
Live.
taking it back, Polly. Oh, holy shit. We were doing that. I miss those days.
He
Live
still does it every
from a
week.
bunker in the heart of the
Sif Pop.
Ozarks.
Yeah.
He does that for Sif Pop?
Yeah, every single week. Yeah. Starts with Live from a Bunker.
Well, it started on the
Live from a
other show that
bunker.
I did with Aaron, so god damn
Oh.
it.
He does it. Nice and deep. Amazing.
There you
The
go.
heart of this enterprise.
We do sometimes steal your comments.
Do. Forget
Oh,
that.
oh. Prove you're not a changeling. Name 3 Soong type androids who aren't Data.
Fred.
Fred, and Fred. Okay, Fred, and then his lore.
Yeah, nice.
A Soong one.
Yeah. Some type.
A Soong type?
Yeah.
Well, the twins
Inspired
weren't
by
really a
Soong.
Soong type because Data made them, right?
I think that counts. Yeah. I think that counts. He's doing it based on they were doing it based on his speck of shit that they
DNA.
found. Yeah.
Or his whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess those count, but I don't think that those count. No, because Soong totally made him. Like, well, the Soong guy.
Alton Soong?
Oh, yeah, I don't remember
Yeah.
his name. Because he
Yeah, I
did.
think it
He
was
made
Alton.
he made her because he kept
Yeah.
making her and she kept dying and then he would remake her. Oh, it's so fucking
Oh, it's
creepy.
so fucked up. There's also Lal, that was made by Data. There's B4, who was actually made, I think,
No.
B4 Law.
Wow.
Which is the real one. And there's another one that is I can't remember her name, but it's basically Dr. Sung made a sex bot for himself, and she calls herself Data's mum. But yeah, I can't remember her name. But yeah, she's a very human-looking android
Are you saying he made a sex bot because I'm gonna take this thing
because they're
off
married.
because we're not quite live yet. Are
Yeah,
you
it's
saying
alright.
that they're married? Wait, hold
I
on.
think she
Did he make her to be a sex bot, or did he make her to be a partner and then they fell in love and they got
Well,
married and stuff?
No, she died, and so he remade her body, I think, as an android.
That sounds familiar. Did you just tell me one about?
Yeah, she might have come first. Yeah, I think she did. She did come first.
That's personal.
Yes.
That is their personal sex life. We should not talk about that.
That's fair. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was it.
Butterflies in the sky. I can fly twice as high. Shoop. Jordy. Didn't you just tell me like Jordy also made a sex bot?
No,
based on somebody?
he made a hologram that he fell in love with.
It wasn't a robot.
Jordy
Okay,
falls
okay.
in love with everybody.
You know what? That's okay.
His
He's got
wife
a big
died,
heart.
he made an android version.
Oh, okay. All right. And she left him after? So she's still out there somewhere? Fred. Fred.
Yeah, I think they.
What if she had Fred?
I think
What
they
if she
might-
made Fred?
She might have made Fred because yeah, she wanted to leave the planet and he didn't, and then she left him, and then I think they wipe her memory
She doesn't
and
know
just
she's
let her
artificial?
go on living. Yeah.
She'd
They don't
figure
know
it
she-
out.
Yeah, well, they don't. They only find out when she falls down a hole and her arm falls off, and they're just like, something's not right here.
Yeah, look at those wires.
Look at her arm that
Look at
looks
those
like Data's
wires.
arm that fell off. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure they wipe her memory and let her go on thinking she's human. I think. Anyway, let's get into the show.
Hmm.
Welcome to 10 Forward, the part of the show where we grab something from the replicator and share our immediate thoughts and feelings on the episode we just watched together. Most important question first, what would you like from the programmer group? I cannot say that word. Programmable matter dispenser.
I like how you had to roll the G to really get that out. Programmable. Programmable.
Matter dispenser.
I mean, hypo spray is needed today. So
Hypo spray for what?
for his wound,
Oh no, you don't. Okay,
you
that's
hypo spray that shit. That works
you
on everything.
No, you hypo spray the person to kill the pain or like bring them back to life. You want a dermal regenerator on the wound.
This is
seal it.
fuck. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I mean, that's what I'm gonna get today. Why? Because for some reason we all want Maul and Locke to live now.
Mm-hmm. We're invested now because we have backstory about them. I would like a boiled Kelleran cake.
Was that mentioned?
Boiled?
Did I miss
Yeah.
that? What?
He said something about like, oh yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, it's like I don't need to know how the cake is boiled when he's talking to Stamets about the explanation, and then Adira is like, Kellerans boil their cakes, and he's like, don't knock it till you've tried it. So yeah, boiled Kelleran cake. Give us a synopsis.
Whew. In today's episode, we go through a wormhole, I think, into
they called it a wormhole.
Technically the Mirrorverse, but not. No, we go into a wormhole that may be connected to the Mirrorverse one time, and because it was connected, there was a ship stuck in there, kind of like a blood clot in a vein, and so that's what happens the whole time. That's where we are. Did you want to know about how Maul and Locke are in love? Did you want to know about Booker and Captain? Did you want to know about how they all talk to each other a whole fucking lot? This is the episode for you. Do you want action? I hope it's a lot of running and talking action. And also bunghole in space.
Bunghole. Yeah.
Ta-da!
Yeah. That's basically it. Yeah, they're in an interdimensional area of space that lies between universes, and they stumble across the ISS Enterprise, where the next piece of the clue has deliberately been left. Feelings happen and they have to escape. How did you feel about this episode, Ambassador?
Boring!
Thoughts and feelings. Oh no, how can it be this boring? How can an episode that on paper has so much cool stuff in it be so fucking boring? We find out who the Breen are after like 35 years of knowing them. We see what happens to the ISS Enterprise after 57 years of not seeing it. And yet I was bored shitless. Sorry. Thoughts and feelings.
Yeah.
What didn't work for you this week?
I don't know. I think this one. I think what I've been trying to kind of like put my words together, and I think what it is that I now firmly know that the show wants to save Maul and Locke, or it wants us to feel some kind of way about these characters, and it firmly put them in front of me, and it's like if we were standing actually face to face and Maul and Locke are being just put in front of my face, I'm trying to look behind them at the crew that I care about knowing more about. So I kind of kept glancing over, and the next ones in line are another relationship duo I don't care about. So then I'm looking behind them for Raynor being captain of the ship, and we barely see any of that this episode. And where it really started to hit me was about halfway through when we're going back and forth scene to scene. And they didn't really go back to the Discovery very often. We went back there a few times, you know, as they're trying to solve problems. And maybe there aren't a lot of problems to solve here, but they really kept in the pocket of back and forth between Maul and Locke, and then Booker and Captain, and then flashback to the history of how Maul and Locke came together. And I don't think we needed to have any flashback personally. And if we did, that could have been one scene. It could have been one scene that could have given us
one.
everything that we needed. We went there so many times.
Yeah.
And they're asking us to fall in love with two characters. I mean, if you're going to give them this much screen time, you're asking us to care about them. I'll say that. When we just watch them murder someone, you know, it's like, just a reminder, they straight up like poisoned somebody and murdered them. And now it's like that they're really going for the redemption arc. And I don't think we needed to have as much with them to believe that Michael and Booker would want to save them anyway. You know, like we didn't need to know that they have a love for each other or that they've had it hard or whatever. We didn't know. I didn't need to know any of that stuff.
I just assumed that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's why it didn't work for me overall. What about you? Did it work overall for you?
No, it didn't. It's the I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I've mentioned it in previous episodes, but the pacing is so killed by feelings, and just feelings that we've had before, like conflicts that we've had before. Dads are shitty. He's not like his dad. He has information about Mole's dad that she doesn't have. It's all about daddy issues.
Yeah.
And
that line where he's like, I understand that he was a shitty dad to you, but he was a great mentor for me. And I'm like, really? You think she's not going to shoot you now? like,
that's the angle you want to take here? Okay. What's frustrating is that, of course, there's a way to do this more organically, but any pace and like tension and drama that you build up, you immediately slam the brakes on by getting into this super fucking deep conversation about like relational stuff. Whereas I don't know, I feel like you deal with the problem in hand, and then in reality this happens like back on the ship, or you have like some quick back and forths that do the job. I don't think you're getting this deep into the weeds when you're on this like united front to get out of this wormhole and to get out of trouble. It feels like so much is paused to do this character development and to do this. It's rare that you actually get to say this, but there is too much character development happening in every single episode with every single conversation. I did like the first flashback, which gives us the big holy shit, he's Breen.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, watching your face when you saw that happen was pretty cool because you were like, oh, yes!
My mind was blown for a couple of reasons. And then that the middle flashback where he actually removes his helmet and says, this isn't my real face, but I'll show it to you anyway. And then the final bit of the flashback where the other guy takes his helmet off and we get told about the shame that comes from using that solid face instead of the more
liquidy,
fluid, extra dimensional space.
Yeah.
And like so much as that for me that really worked because I was like, I'm getting a really quick insight into why the Breen wear their masks, why it's a big deal to take them off. This huge kind of like payoff for 30 years of Star Trek background lore where we just haven't known this thing about the Breen and we've really wanted to know what's going on under the Breen helmet. I really like that, but yeah, they could be those flashbacks could absolutely be tightened down. I get that they're together. I get that they're on the run together. I get that they're like what is the name of the people that drove the car off the thing? The two women. They're on the run. They're Americans. You're like, hey, we're like da and da.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde. That's it. We know that
I think
Bonnie
one was
Clyde.
a guy, just to be clear.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a female duo?
Probably.
That happened as well. Thelma and Louise. Thank you. That's it. Thank you to the chat. Bonnie and Clyde, Thelma and Louise. That situation. We know that. For me, if you're spending this much time on them, you're just telegraphing that one or both will die. I know it's so heavy-handed. One of them is dying, and it's gonna like push the other. I predict that Luck is gonna die, and Moll is gonna be heavily motivated to do something about that, and that's going to drive some of the story. But yeah, you're right. It's interesting that we're spending so much time on them when there's a lot of the crew that we want to be spending time on.
Having just learned, that the writers weren't aware that this was the final season. And maybe this episode is one of those that, to me, would easily be on the cutting floor if I knew that this was the final season and I was writing for it. Because I would rather fill an episode with the characters that I've known than do this. Because it kind of just feels like, I mean, honestly, today's episode could be another 20 minutes long and I'd be fine with it because there's not much to talk about here. Like, we didn't make any true progress towards the goal of getting closer to this thing. I mean, like, we know now that there's the clues seem to be alluding to having an awareness of purpose and direction, but even that sort of fell a little bit short for me on this one because it was we joked around about astronomy. It was very much at that moment where Michael's like, you know what? This clue could be telling us that we can't give up. And it's like, this clue could also be telling you to keep your fucking shit out of holes. Like, the
fact that they have to spell out while looking at the camera what each clue piece means. I was like, you clearly, you don't have a confidence the metaphor is
and
there,
it was
but you
lost.
have to spoon feed it to us. And that you did need to, because that's not the message that I got.
Me either. And this is probably the other part on a deeper level where this episode gets really difficult for me, probably for multiple reasons that I can't really blame the episode for. It's mostly my lack of context because this one says, and if I'm understanding correctly, that this ISS ship, tell me if I've got this right. The ISS ship was a bad guy ship. And it gets caught in this place. But the people that were on board were actually like shifting away from evil and going back towards good.
Correct.
Redemption. Yeah. This is like...
They stole the ship.
And so one of the people that leaves that ship comes back to it later on to hide this clue, hoping that the clue's purpose of redemption and all that is going to be understood and known. And they give him... And this Dr. Cho person... is that person. So they come out of this wormhole on like their pods. What are they called?
Escape pods?
Pew, pew, pew. Yeah, the escape pods. And they go out into our universe, join Starfleet, some of them, and they join the Federation, and they adapt into non-bad guy world.
Yep.
And that's what I was kind of coming to understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the crew of the ISS Enterprise rebels and mutinies. They steal the ship, and they escape. And they escape with like the intent of going to our universe, which is way more optimistic. And yet they make it. A good chunk of the crew actually makes it. And then Dr. Cho gets promoted, becomes an admiral, is part of the team that does the progenitor stuff, puts this clue on the ship.
Okay.
And the message is, don't give up. Hope isn't lost. You can be good even if you're evil. There's complexity and stuff. It's just, it's so like, it's because the thing is, even if that's your message, there's no guarantee that the person who finds the message will agree with you. It just means they're smart. It means that they figured it out. Like, you can make this as like, the message can be as wholesome and as like incredible as you want it to be. But the person who finds the clue just has to be intelligent. It doesn't mean they have to share your ideals.
Yeah.
To find the clue.
And also, how much more powerful would this message be if we had found a way to translate it back over to the crew that we're looking at on Discovery? So if we have this Raynor character who kind of has this sort of redemptive arc going with him, what if this message was less about backstory on Locke and Maul and more about how to apply this forgiveness style, and that would somehow help to unlock it? But it was just very loosely kind of put together because I watched last episode thinking that Raynor has an ulterior motive, and then heading into this episode, it very quickly to me seemed like I'm just meant to ignore that instinct, and I can be wrong about his character motivation, but it's obviously not at this point, and maybe not ever, an intended purpose of the writer, because if they were going to give a redemptive arc to someone, give it to Raynor.
Yeah.
Give it to this character. Maybe he was planning on mutinying the Discovery, and the ISS had been mutinied. So mirror that back on board where maybe he's attempting to mutiny and we, the audience, know it, but nobody else knows it. And their redemptive story on the ISS is mirrored over on what potentially could be happening on Discovery, because that to me would be like some juicy storytelling. And I was just missing something a little bit more concrete, and I couldn't tell if it's because I was kind of like missing some of the deeper Star Trek lore, because we've got the Breen, we've got these different elements, they've got the ISS, this mirror universe and all this stuff, and I was wondering if maybe there was some juicier stuff happening that I'm missing because I don't understand all the references as quickly.
I don't think so. I think the Breen context that's added is all brand new. Like, this is just like hypotheses and guesswork. Like, all that we've seen of the Breen essentially was on Deep Space Nine, and they're in masks, and they're the lackeys, and they're the boots on the ground, and they're an ally to the bad guys. They don't really dive into Breen culture very much. Federation doesn't know much about them. So this is more information than we've ever had. And I think that's more going to tie into like the overall season arc of what Luck is battling with. And with regards to the Enterprise, book just reads it all from the plaque. Like, that's all the information you need, is that they know that the Terrans are the bad guys, and they know that this ship was filled with a crew that wanted a better life. That's all the context you need for this one. So I actually think they do a good job of that. But yeah, they don't do a good job of tying it in to the overall mystery. And I think the Rayner thing might just be, I'm beginning to think more and more it was just a cadence thing that we picked up on. And that's going to happen. Like, he does have a very unique cadence in the way that he delivers things. And I think part of us wants there to be more there, because that's fun. And I don't think there will be in the end.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a terrible episode. I felt the pacing on this one because they relied really heavily on relationship stories. And historically, both you and I kind of like glaze over when it turns into a love story, especially when I don't feel like, well, you're tired of the Book and Michael love story. So thankfully it didn't go there. Really, it's kind of like brushed on. It just kind of like brushed on it. It wasn't like they were falling back in love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they are.
But they shifted it over to, Maul and Locke. And I mean, these are really fascinating characters. It's not that I'm upset with how they're being portrayed. I love the prosthetic. I like how they're acting. I love that we have this like forbidden love story in a way, but
yeah, I like all of the elements. I just don't like how they boiled it. I like the elements of this cake. I do not like the method of cooking it.
Right. Well, it's like when somebody says they made a potato salad, but their potato salad is very different than the one that you like.
Yeah, this isn't how I like my potato salad.
This is really, really mayonnaise forward, and I prefer mustard.
Ooh, I love that though. I've got to say, on the positive side, there are some visuals in this episode that are just
so great,
mouth-wateringly freaking good.
Okay. Which one got it for you?
Well, the one that
come on, it's the same one that I got.
Yeah, it's the Enterprise coming out of the wormhole.
It was so cool.
Tractor beam, the music. I was like, you bastards! Like, this is cheap. This is you giving me a big juicy cheeseburger.
It was so good.
No thrills, knowing that I'm a basic person that's just going to enjoy this fucking cheeseburger that's simply seasoned with fries and a milkshake, and I'm just going to love it. It was so great. It was so well done, visually beautiful, a good old nonsense Star Trek escape plan, and we get to see the Enterprise nose to nose with the Discovery. I'm going to spoil this for you.
Cool.
It looks so cool. My all-time favorite moment of Discovery comes at the end of season 1. And I'm not worried about spoiling this for you, because there's a distant universe where we do all of Discovery season 1. The mission has ended. Everything is done. The season has been wrapped up. Out of nowhere, the Discovery receives a distress call from, and we don't know what it is. We don't know who the distress call is from until the little the NCC 1701 appears on someone's display, and the new Enterprise from Strange New Worlds just appears out of screen, appears in space, lowers down, and then comes nose to nose with Discovery. I had no idea it was going to turn up. I had no idea Strange New Worlds wasn't even announced yet. and it is one of the most chilling images I've ever. This updated Enterprise that just looked beautiful, and that just like bam, that was the end of season 1. I was like, wow, that had nothing to do with season 1, and I loved it. So I'm a sucker for that. All of that to say, this was always going to get me. It's so well done. It's beautiful.
So was that the same ship from Strange New Worlds? The set.
It's the same set. Yeah.
Okay.
100% the same set. Yeah.
So this is like Discovery going next door and like filming
Literally.
on. Okay.
100%.
And they just wrap the doors differently, put some new stuff on, make it look fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah. It's really
I
fun.
don't mind that. I don't mind that.
I love it.
But we had a bottle episode last episode, and this very much felt like a bottle episode as well, didn't it?
Yeah, it's both with the last 5 minutes saying we've got the next piece of the puzzle. This is where we're going next. They are both bottle episodes. I last week worked for me more. I think it's because of Raina, and I think the pacing was just better, and there was less of that. The focus was on Raina's relationship. This focus was on Luck and Mole, which is it didn't give me much new. It just told me how they got together. It's like two of your best friends giving you their origin story of how they met. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm bored. Let's move on.
And here's to that point. It's like it's not like the backstory. If I have a couple friends and they're deeply in love, and they tell me about how they met, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if they try to qualify their love by telling me specific parts, it's like, I don't need you to qualify why you love each other.
Exactly.
It's pretty evident today looking at you that you love each other a whole lot. And so
I think that's it. I didn't need it.
I didn't need it. But this, I think, is us firmly having an understanding that the writers did not know that they had a ticking time, because they would not have written this the same if they knew that. They would have.
I think you're right. Yeah.
They would have been folding in other stories to kind of like bring us forward. And really, the other things that we learn are minimal, I feel. Like the Doctor is kind of like having a crisis of faith in a way and not sure how to talk about it. Rayner is taking the lead, and that's going well. Like nothing really happened that made him stand out, except for he offered, I think, alcohol as a
citrus mash.
Citrus mash as a bonus. Which, by the way, everyone kind of came up with a solution. So I guess he's buying casks for everyone, which is great.
He did say citrus mash for all. Which is good for him. I mean, I liked how Rayner came across in this episode, because it reaffirmed this. Oh, he's still going to be a dick. Like, he hasn't given up on his command style. It's still, I need this in a sentence.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Give me another sentence. And he's still staying true to that, which he should. He hasn't been completely
I don't mind that.
by Discovery. Yeah. I love that. So I think the way they handled Rayner was one of my favorite things in the episode.
Yeah, Rayner was. I didn't mind the Rayner thing, but again, I really, it bums me out that we're not kind of going into wicked Rayner territory. Yeah.
No, I hear you. I get it. There'll be plenty of other corrupt Starfleet captains and commanders on our journey through Star Trek. The Breen thing is the other huge thing in this episode that I really, really liked.
The Breen thing? Why not the Lenzian filter that shows the wormhole? That's huge. I don't know. I'm talking about the wormhole. I'm just being silly.
Yeah, the repolarize the view screen so we can see the dodeca thingy. Yeah. No, I love it. When you take on an element of Star Trek history and decide we are going to flesh this out, we're going to provide some answers that the fans have been asking for. We're going to give you some lore that, he says this with hesitance, can't be undone. This is now canon, and this is what these people are. Like, that's a lot. Like, I can imagine sitting in the writer's room and just be like, whew, okay, let's do this. We're going to take on the Breen. We're going to add some backstory. We're adding to the fabric of Star Trek. And the way they did it was really great. It has that nuance of Star Trek tackling a different society and their viewpoint in a very Star Trek way. And how the Breen have these two faces, one of which they don't want to expose. And it does the cool thing of like still leaving more questions as well. Like, when did this adaptation happen? When did this evolution happen? Why is it so frowned upon? What does this provide for them? I love it. It gives the perfect context to the helmets that I think we suspected, while also being interesting. It just visually so pretty. Their new faces are so pretty.
Yeah. And that's I guess something is as a fan. So what we learned about the Breen today is brand new for everybody, or is it more like them having two faces, for example? Has that been referenced before?
No, to my someone's going to call me out, but to my knowledge, no, that has not been called out in the books. I think I mentioned this last week. The books say that there's lots of different subspecies of Breen, and they all look different, and they all look like different ranks in society, and that's why they wear the helmets so that everybody can stay anonymous. And it's a real like kind of taboo to take your helmet off. So there's definitely some influence.
So the Mandalorian,
way more.
This is the way.
Yeah, this is the way. It's very similar, actually. This is a more stripped down version of that, where it's just they're all the same. They all have these two faces, but they want to hide that.
Okay.
So did that work for you with somebody that doesn't have the same background knowledge of the Breen?
Yeah, and that part I didn't really mind too much. And maybe if they had taken all of the little Breen clues throughout the backstory and the flashbacks, and they had put it into one scene like I wanted them to do. And when I mentioned that, like, I wanted them to do that for the love part of it. But maybe if they were also trying to reveal Breen information, it could have felt way too heavy-handed. And maybe that's why they spread it out but across the episode, so that we are getting a flashback and we're getting a little bit more about Breen. Because if we had seen all of it at once, I think it would have been like, here's all the Breen information you want to know and love story at the same time, and it just would have been too much.
Yeah, dumb.
But the question is, did we need to know that about him? My assumption is that he might join the Federation, like he might join Starfleet. He could be the first Breen to kind of become, because he has this redemptive way of talking about things. Now he's really intense. I really like Locke character.
He's
I love the
more
eyes.
measured than Moll, isn't he? Like everything he says kind of feels like
he's thinking.
He can be convinced, or like he's like, well, let's calm down and take a more sensible route. And Moll is like, let's go.
Exactly, like Locke or Moll is a bit unhinged.
Yeah.
I mean, she completely is she's the reason that the ship was about to crash, because she's like, I'm just going to do a power surge without thinking about it.
Let's put the handbrake on.
Yeah. So, but this Breen character, I think it works really well. He doesn't need to have a lot of expression from me. His eyes do a lot of the work, but he has like the black pupils and these bright blue eyes.
Yeah.
And that alongside the CGI work is really intriguing to me. And I want to just go back and just pause and look at that CGI, because it's almost like instead of a brain, they have a galaxy in their forehead.
Yeah,
there's just this
so
sort of, it was really interesting.
More.
But what Star Trek, to your point, did it work for me? Yes, because I feel like I know just as much as everybody else now, which is kind of cool. But also, it's just enough that in a future episode of Star Trek down the line somewhere, somebody could easily go and just dig into that and expand on it, because they've given just enough vagueness and just enough clues that it works, like the whole two-face system and this class system, and this really what's driving them is that they've done something that is so bad that the Breen will never stop hunting because of this word that I can't remember that I wrote down.
The Entriac Pact, Entriac E something. I think it began with E.
Okay.
Yeah. My notes are not as good as yours. My notes are empty. Yours are Tolkien.
I mean,
that is useful to nobody. I
really do feel like I should just show my notes every time. They are pretty impressive, I have to say.
I love it. You've got the Silmarillion. I have a
Erica?
blank piece of paper.
An Erica,
yeah,
maybe?
Sounds right. So I thought she said Erica, and then Burnham reacted to it, and she was like, Erica? And I'm like, fuck, why can't I remember who Erica is? I'm such a bad Star Trek fan. Burnham knows who this is, and I don't.
Yeah. But they end up explaining it. And would it have worked if it was all condensed? Maybe not. But yeah, it was really, I mean, it's interesting for me because if there's two standout things I was really excited about, maybe three, it would be his backstory of who he is, where he comes from, and what's behind the mask and why that's important. So that's juicy, and I loved that. Second would be our first officer and the way that he is. Like, I got chills. There's a moment when he goes to red alert, and then everyone goes like "I captain" or something like, or her, like they acknowledge that he has this leadership position, and everyone it just kind of felt like it was clicking. But then we just cut away so much. I barely get any of that. That's what I wanted this episode. And then the last one is just more gorgeous shots. We did get some pretty cool visuals. Like, even the opening space sphincter was really cool looking. That it was pulsing made me very uncomfortable. That we got to see a broken up Lock and Maul ship. Like, their ship was fucked. That was cool. I liked that.
Yeah.
So those are the things I would want to like amplify. But we did get to go back onto Strange New World set. Now that I know that, I'm like, oh, that's why it was familiar. Because she looks over and she's like, that's where my brother sits, and I'm just like, I know that place.
I understand this reference. Yeah, it's amazing. It's kind of incredible that so much of it is so similar. But there we go. But yeah, no, I completely agree, and I'm trying to think on it. Why is Discovery not doing the crew stuff that we love? So you mentioned how like everybody's saying "Hi, Captain," and they do the brainstorming on the bridge, but it's done in like 20 seconds, and then they move on. And I think it has to be deliberate, because that is what every Star Trek show does, and it's what we love. Like, Strange New Worlds already has this really established crew that we love playing with. TNG does as well. Deep Space Nine, Voyager, TOS. It's common to every iteration of Star Trek, other than Discovery. Discovery is the only one that breaks that and is much more fluid with the people it introduces and the time that it spends with people. So I think I'm certain it's deliberate. I'm just sad it doesn't work, because I love this Discovery crew. And I think there's a world where this is more Discovery, which is so strange because that's the name of the show. But one of the most common fan complaints is that we don't firmly know all of the bridge crew of Discovery. Like, I couldn't rattle off their names as well as I can, even for Strange New Worlds. And it's a different approach, and I commend them for doing it. But I think just inherently, it's not going to have that same connection that we have with Strange New Worlds, TNG, Voyager, etc.
Yeah, it is a difficult part of writing characters, is how much to give and how much to kind of have be in the background. And for them to have spent, as you've told me, so much time really investing in the will they, won't they part of their story, and that not to be something that really works for a large portion of the audience, it is an interesting decision to make. And maybe they're just kind of playing around with what it looks like to kind of more focus on romance than story. You know, you've got this Rayner person who is like, I don't need to know who these people are to work with them. And maybe Discovery is kind of doing the same thing. Like, we don't need to know who these people are.
This is what I'm saying. Rayner really is, in a lot of ways, us, like I don't want to say negative, but the counter Discovery kind of discourse is very much in Rayner. Like, I don't need touchy-feely. I don't need I need the crew to work as a crew. And let's go. It's very, very, very interesting.
It is. It is very, very, very interesting.
Well, I think we've pretty much covered everything that happens in the episode. It's quite telling that it doesn't take us too long to get through it, because we haven't progressed it too much. Like, they catch up with Mole and Locke, they get the new piece of the clue, and now
that
they're
has
working
a liquid element to it.
Yeah, they're identifying the liquid, and that will give them the next clue. And then we're into episode 6. Any thoughts before we move into Sins?
Well, and we didn't really go over predictions yet, too. And are we going to do that later, or do you want to do that now?
We can do that now. I guess the biggest, most impressive prediction for me, and this we mentioned it came from Phil last week. I did have a back and forth with Phil, and he kindly admitted that it's kind of something that he heard online as well. It's a general fan prediction that was like, wouldn't it be cool if Luck was Breen? Well done to anybody who predicted that Luck was Breen. What an insane swing. Like, big swing. Great prediction.
Yeah, especially since having looked at the helmet last week to kind of familiarize ourselves like a little bit. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
And those helmets coming so far down the trunk like an anteater, these helmets are clearly a different version. And so, but it's still just enough similar.
There's enough
that
there.
I can see where it would be tempting to make that reach. But yeah, that's definitely the biggest reveal here. I think my predictions were something about Spock having the clue, which definitely didn't happen.
We'll turn up and have the next clue. Which no Spock, I'm afraid we didn't have that, but it wouldn't have really made sense for him to be there. Like the way they did the mirror universe this week, it's kind of the only way they could do it, because they admitted that they know they can't travel between mirror universes. So if you want to do a mirror universe thing, you've got to find this in between us space where things can exist. And yeah, the other one you had was Rayna's hand injury will become terminal. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm sorry.
It didn't seem like it.
Nope.
You know, sometimes when they're filming, they film things out of order. And so maybe that's part of why I can't get over it.
It's broken you.
It's hard because it's hard when your version of what you think should happen, you want it to be true so badly that it shades you watching it. But it's okay.
Because it's that, we could do a better job. And it's like being respectful that we're not in the chair. There's lots of different ways
so much
of executing this. Yeah, exactly.
I've never had to consider how shows are actually written. I have my own imaginative version of how these things come together, and I know it's far more complicated than that.
It's amazing. Overall pips. Okay, let's do it. Let's pip the episode.
I think I'm gonna give it like 1.5.
I'm at 2.
If I have to slide to a solid number, I think I would go to a 1.
Oh, yeah. What if you can pin it down on one thing? What is it? Is it just
why I would go down?
Yeah. What's pushing you downwards?
That much time wasted on characters I genuinely don't give a shit about.
It's fair. Yeah.
Like it was most of the episode. And you know what? I wouldn't be doing this if these characters were Discovery characters.
Yeah, right?
I would be like, wow, this is obviously developing a part of the story that needs to be addressed, and I'm going to be here for it. But unless this ends on both of them surviving and joining Starfleet, I don't give a shit about them.
It's weird, isn't it?
Like, if they're going to go right off into the sunset on a shuttle and Booker is all happy about it, everyone's like, we did the right thing here, folks. I can't imagine this being more important than finding this device, this creature. Nothing that I was shown today seems to be more important than the plot line that they've already established as this most important. Find this being, find this thing, do it fast. And the way that the clue was, achieved, the convenience of both of our people being pushed out of sick bay at the same time, and everything was so conveniently put together. And it didn't work for me, and so I think I'll slide to a 1.
Yeah, I'm in a 2 purely because
if I have to can I do halves?
Yeah, you can do halves.
Okay, then I'm at a 1.5 because
I've been lenient on
some
that.
Some of the stuff really worked for me, but maybe that's why it's a 1 and not a 0.
No, I think you're absolutely fine. I think we will look back on this episode and it will stand out as, you really didn't realize this was the last season, because this is such a bizarre way. Not bizarre. It's such a interesting way to spend your time. To spend what limited time you have left to invest so much into characters that will be forgotten. Like, we just want to spend more time with what little time we have left. We want to spend it with Discovery. I don't know how you choose to spend it with Locke and Mole.
I have to bring this up from the chat. The prediction that Mole and Locke will go murder. That would potentially be a reason to give them screen time, to justify that they would somehow sacrifice their lives for the Discovery. And maybe what we saw in this episode gives us just what we need to verify and qualify that. Like, they're on a train out of control, and they both have unquestionably said, we will die before we're taken in if we're separated. So what do you do with a character like that? You either have to find a way to completely redeem them or kill them, and killing them in for the Discovery makes a lot of sense, Zero. I think that was a really good comment. That might be the only justified reason to have them on screen so much.
Yeah, but that's what I said at the top of the episode, is that one of them will die, and I predict it's going to be Luck. Like, the only way you spend this much time with them is if one of them's dying, because that's the only way you kind of feel that real punch. And I think they want us to feel a real connection. And it makes sense to kill Luck because he's the one we're going to empathize with. We're always going to empathize with the underdog. And he is the underdog of the Breen that is rebelling against the, why can't I just look how I want to look? This is just as me as the other face. So we're gonna have extra feelings for him, and then you kill him.
Yeah.
Is how I feel that's gonna go.
Yeah. It's strange because I'm gonna say this before we go on. I have to say, I wish there was a way to have let the writers know that this was the end before filming, because I think we would have gotten such a different story. Imagine if there does need to be a sacrifice and it came from a Discovery person instead of these throwaway characters. That's the last thing I think I have to say before we go on to the sins.
Yep. No, I'm at 2, and what I was about to say is that the only thing that kind of bumps it up a little bit for me is the way that they handled the Breen and had the kind of courage to go after a kind of part of Star Trek lore and kind of give it a nice background and a good story. And I'm just a sucker for the visual effects, and the Enterprise was just beautiful. Perhaps unnecessary, but it was another loose end tied up. And again, I think done really, really, really well. I really liked that part. But yeah, skip. Well, with that, let's head over to engineering to do some sins. Redder stations, whatever.
Redder stations, everyone.
Redder stations, everyone. Black alert. This is the part of the show. I'm going to give myself a cleaner entry into that. This is the part of the show where we remind ourselves that no TV shows have outseen even our beloved Star Trek. Go ahead, Ambassador. Give us some nitpicking.
Probably my biggest sin is the forced fight in sickbay. Not the entire fight, but how they got into it, where they go into the room firing and then try to talk when they could have talked from outside of sickbay.
100%.
Just say, hey, we don't want to get into a fight here, blah, 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 blah. Like, they could have let them know that they were not attacking them, that they were firing at the like, it was just so it was such a forced conflict situation. All
of it was very, very forced. And Molly even calls it out like, hey, you're the ones that came in here firing, as if to like kind of wink at the camera. I'm like, yeah, good point. All of this could have been hollered from the doors. The reason is you have to get them into sickbay so that we can lead into my biggest sin, which is the convenient force field of emotional separation.
Yeah.
Which, wow, look how that worked out. Just managed to separate Book and Mole so that they could have their time together on the bridge. Like, my eyes were just rolling into the back of my head. And I'm like, cool, get them to where you need them to be. But it's super duper duper sinful to have the force field separate them so that they can have their time together, and so that Burnham can have time with Luck as well. Just all of the contrivance.
There was one fade out from history, and I think it was that it worked really well. And I think we could have done maybe 2 flashbacks and accomplished what we needed. I really believe that. In that second flashback, with it ending with Locke saying, I love you, you know that, and it fades into the now, that was really powerful. And you know, he's dying or he's wounded, and that was a really kind of powerful moment that I wouldn't want to miss out on a forced back and forth. And I don't know, but yeah,
I think that it's a credit
popping in my mind.
The actor that's playing Luck. I think he is doing a really great job. I think he's emoting really well. His voice, let me try to look up the name. Yeah, his voice is really convincing, and just the makeup effects are so good. I like how we've waited to the sins to actually say some more positive stuff about them.
Sorry, it just popped into my head. You know me.
No, you're great.
Elias,
I completely agree.
Toufaces. It's Toufexis.
If his last name is Two Faces, that's amazing.
It's Toufexis. How would you say that?
I have no idea. Two Faces?
Two Faces?
Two Faces?
Two
That's amazing.
Faces? That'd be fucking crazy.
That's what I just said.
I
That's
know.
incredible.
I agree with you. And you know what? Elias listens to our show, so he'll just let us know.
Please call in. Call in.
Oh my God. If we
Right
had
now. If you're in the live show.
Oh my
call
God.
in.
If we had a live hotline
Oh my goodness.
during our live show, can you imagine the shenanigans that our live audience would pull on us?
We have that. It's just called comments.
Imagine
don't
if it
have
was
their
audio.
voices.
Imagine if they
Yeah.
called in. That'd be fucking
Absolutely
crazy.
not. Amazing. Right. Next sin. I did my emotional separation sin. What was your next one?
Mm-hmm. Let me go back to my notes because I was just reading about this character and I can't wait to tell you what I looked up.
Oh, tell me now. Do
Okay.
it.
Well, I mean, it's about the actor.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I like to tell you where I'm reading from because I'm obviously Googling on the fly here, but it was cinemablend.com. Let's see. So Elias, did I say that was his first name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I don't know how to say it. Yeah, Elias. Is a massive Star Trek fan, but he didn't find out how significant his role as Locke in the final season was until he was in a spot where, understandably, wild reactions and jerky movements are discouraged. So this is the quote from him at that time, which is why I was excited. He says, "When I went to the makeup test I had to put on the whole plaster where you sit there for 20 minutes and try not to pass out, try not to freak out. Like, so that's how they mold the headpiece. But I said, can I look at what I'm going to look like? And they showed me some concept art and I said, well, what is he? And they said, oh, he's going to be a Breen. And I was like,
find out.
He goes, I was like, Breen don't take their helmets off. And that was the first thing I said. That's as much of a nerd as I am. And I'm like, are you telling me that I'm going to be the first Breen that takes this helmet off? And the makeup guys are geeks too. So they're like, yeah, it's going to be cool. It's going to be the first time in Star Trek. And that got him really excited. This is a really interesting article.
Awesome.
I instantly want to read the rest of it, but I'm not going to here on the show. But
That's really, really
Can you
cool.
imagine your head is in a plaster and you can't like go,
yeah, he's like, oh, I'm freaking out. What a cruel time to tell him. Yeah, by the way, you're a Breen and you can't do
how
anything
fucking
about
crazy
it.
is that?
How many layers of awesome is that? That's so fun.
I know.
Oh, I love that.
That's
awesome.
how you find out. You don't even find out. Like, that's how you find out is that the makeup
So
people tell
interesting.
you. And to know
So
that part of
interesting.
your character because you're such a fan, that's really fun.
Yeah, to have that in-depth knowledge.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm
Anyways.
trying to think of what the comparison would be. That's so fun. Oh, love that.
Okay.
Love
I've got
that.
someone is in the chat is saying it's Toufexis.
Two Faces. That makes sense. Yeah.
Well, that's not
Two
nearly as
Faces.
exciting as Two Faces.
Elias
that's
Two
okay.
Faces. That's what we're sticking with.
I think
Amazing.
it was your turn first, then. I think.
Oh,
Or was
was
it
it?
mine?
No, it was yours.
Okay. I don't know if this is a sin or not. You're gonna have to tell me. They're on the ISS. They're out of time. They're gonna crash. They go onto the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
He goes and sits down at a station to help navigate.
Yep.
And she goes and sets her sweet ass in a chair. What the fuck, Michael? What the
I love
fuck?
this. This is
Go
amazing.
sit somewhere else where you can
Be
push a
useful.
goddamn button and be useful. Like, don't
Yeah.
just sit there like, yep, I'm the captain. This is my chair. You know what? No. Fuck
So
you.
dumb.
Go sit down and do something. I was so pissed and I was so distracted too. I kept like getting angrier and angrier the more that it went
Yeah.
on. I thought maybe like a little panel would pop up and she'd be able to do something besides be like, oh, hey, Michael, how's it going up there? Like, get the fuck up and go help the
Right.
man. I'm sorry.
Because we've seen Picard sit in his chair, his like pad will flip up and he'll do some pressing and he'll do some things. But there are
Right.
4 of you on this ship. You don't even have a full bridge
And-
crew.
And
let
2
alone
of them
anything
are
else.
gone. They're not on
Yeah.
the bridge helping
Oh
you.
shit, they're not even on the bridge. It's just
No.
him and her and Booker.
It's just the 2 of
Two
them, and
of
she
you.
sits in that seat. Like, yeah, we
It
get
kinda
it.
makes
You're in
everyone else
charge. Blah, blah,
redundant.
blah.
You should be in the science station just because you want to sit on the bridge of the Enterprise. Like I think that's why. And
Listen,
yeah,
listen,
that's a
listen.
good one.
I don't fucking care. When they were on the shuttle, she was beep bop a dooping away. She had
Uh-huh.
stuff to do. She was helping navigate. She was monitoring stuff. But then all of a sudden, when they're in imminent danger and they're going to fucking die, she sits back like, hey, let me tell you about this one time that I saw a past version of us and we were happy. Shut the fuck up and go sit down and do something.
That's a good one. I like that. I think there just would have been riots if they hadn't let Burnham sit in the captain's chair. But you're right. It makes no sense.
She had plenty of time. They fucking survive.
Yeah.
She could have stood up.
Episode.
You know why they did it? I just figured it out. I know why they did it. They did it so that she could do that fucking fly line.
Oh, yeah, the let's fly?
That's why.
Yeah. Instead of hit it. That feels weird. Just say it. Just say hit it.
I did understand that reference, and that was fun.
Yeah, you did. You were very happy that you understood that reference. You went full Captain America. I understood that reference. Amazing. My next one is a cliche. You'll get a fair trial cliche. This is particularly shitty because if they do get a fair trial, they're going to prison. Like, a fair trial isn't what they want. They want an unfair trial that lets them go free. Like, that's not a very appealing sentiment when you're a criminal and you have stolen things and you're on the run. Like, don't promise them that they won't get a trial. Like, you're not going to get a trial. It's fine.
I totally agree with you. I had this thought during the show where I was like, how is this going to incentivize Locke to come over to their side? But I also appreciated that that Michael wasn't mincing words. She wasn't bullshitting. She was honest.
Yeah.
And again, the idea that like the Federation is about second chances. And that felt like a real moment to me where she is using what she can. So yeah, it's not a great incentive. But it's better than Booker telling her that her shit dad that disappeared was great to him. You know, like they're both not doing well.
No, they're both failing in there. And still it kind of basically works. They get enough cooperation out of them. Yeah.
But I feel like the point was serve your time, get out, and you'll be fine. And that is also a legitimate thing to say. Like that's not too crazy. And Locke was like, well, can I have a cell with my girlfriend? And that seemed like a stretch to me, but it also is telegraphing that they're going to die, right? Like they're going to die.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I guess
that moment more than anything probably indicates that the show has quote unquote done all it can do to save these characters, and so their inevitable death isn't going to be questioned by a fan who liked them because quote unquote they tried. You know what I mean? Yeah,
they tried, exactly. Yeah. And we're at the halfway point as well, so we now have like in theory 5 episodes where they can be happy the character work is done and go full throttle into the adventure. I hope, he says hopefully. Just make 8 episode seasons if you can't fill 10 episodes. My next sin was a really nitpicky, probably a bit shitty sin, but the Enterprise shouldn't have a holo emitter in its sick bay. It doesn't have a holodeck. We don't have any mention of a holo emitter in that was like a thing that they were really proud that Voyager had, because they have the emergency medical holograms. There were holodeck emitters and buffers in the sick bay, and that was a big development. So I don't understand why this one has a holo emitter, and I don't think it's one that Locke and Mole brought with them, because
it could be.
Yeah, but you just happen to have one with you as you were running off of the ship that just got blown up, and B, Burnham says the sick bay is holo emitter. Like she recognizes it as one that belongs to the sick bay. So kind of damned themselves. And okay, fine. This Enterprise does and the old one doesn't, but it's a bit of a glaring one.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe the ISS Enterprise is different to the USS Enterprise. Fine, but I don't like it.
The chat on that same point said, how did the emitter get there? The ship is from over 1,000 years in the past, or did Mole and Locke have one handy?
I think that's the point I'm making. Yeah, this Enterprise shouldn't have a holo.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's not just that sick bay has one; it's that it shouldn't exist ship wide.
Oh no! They've admitted that the Discovery does, and the Enterprise doesn't, because Pike specifically said, "I want view screens. I don't want holograms. I don't want us to communicate with holograms. I don't trust it. I don't like it." But specifically, like sick bay has never been shown to have one. That's what I'm getting at. And like,
Okay.
if it does have one, there's lots of ways it would and should have been used. I guess we'll find out in the new season of Strange New Worlds.
Well, there you
But
go.
it's probably that the ISS is different.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. Still game.
I don't know whether to sin or take a sin off for Linus playing the piano. Like,
Yeah, I had that as well.
like,
I guess Linus plays the piano now.
isn't that from the Peanuts? From like Charlie Brown world?
I've never
Doesn't
seen
Linus play the piano, or is it is Linus a
it.
different
I
character?
don't know.
Who plays?
I've seen the holiday special. I have not watched the show. I hated it. Hated that holiday special so
Oh
much.
no, it's Schroeder. Schroeder plays the piano. That's right.
Schroeder,
Linus
what a
isn't one of their
dick.
characters. Anyway,
Yeah.
I thought that it was kind of a funny thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Linus.
Fucking Linus, man.
But yes, Linus now plays the piano. Of all of the instruments to play, it's amazing. My next two were just father stuff. Skip codependency. Skip.
So much.
So much skippage.
So much. I want to give a sin off for the moment when they're solving this problem of how to stretch the sphincter. And
Yep.
and they kind of like all collectively come up with this idea. They're changing photon torpedoes to antimatter something, and it needs to be done in a hexagonal pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And the captain's like, "Why hexagonal?" And and the guy cuts in and he's like, "You know what? It doesn't matter. It's gonna work." And I thought that was really funny because it's kind of a way to just like either stop the banter back and forth. Maybe it's an inside joke for the show. I don't know. But even though I kind of am missing a lot of techno babble, I found that to be pretty funny.
For me,
That might have been the only
bit.
time I laughed the entire episode.
I liked it because it's Stamets kind of adjusting to Rayna's command style as well. Just like, I know you're not going to hear the words that I'm saying. Trust me, you don't need to be like, I'm an engineer, not a doctor. Like, you don't need to understand this. It's fine. But for me, it was a hexagonal bit that stood out because they're not usually so specific about the shape thing. And the fact that he said, why hexagonal? I was like, yeah, I had that question as well. Why does hexagonal matter? Because I don't think space cares. And then they're just like, we're not going to explain why. I was like, oh, you don't actually have a reason, do you? That was a
But
setup.
that was the fun
It felt
part.
like a setup for the joke.
I don't know. It's either the show folding back on Rayner saying, I want to use less words. Like, it was like
Oh, it's
Rayner.
100% that.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Which
Like, it
works
felt
for
like an
me
obvious
too.
setup.
But also it works for me on a technobabble sense because sometimes I'm just like, just make it stop. I don't care why it works. Just keep going. And we had so much
Yeah.
technobabble. I think last episode there was a lot.
I love it so much. Give me
There was a lot going on last episode.
My sin for that moment is that it was my understanding that photon torpedoes worked with antimatter already. I didn't think you had to add any. I thought the whole point was that they are tiny antimatter explosions. But maybe I'm misunderstanding torpedoes. I'm sure somebody will email in. But I'm pretty sure they already have antimatter in them.
I don't know. I feel like I really want to send the whole 3414 thing. It is such a phenomenal, colossal leap in logic to get
34?
there. The beam comes out of the hole
Yeah.
and is like pulsing at 3414, which
right.
references to like a poem or like something. I don't know.
Sorry, how Burnham communicated with Rayner. Yeah, Morse code essentially.
But it's not Morse code.
No.
It's like
Not.
it's as if someone is telling you to go pick up your favorite book and go to a specific chapter to find a specific phrase that means I'm coming out of this fucking hole. Unless that reference was about birth and stretching and prepare,
Yeah.
like it.
This poem is about.
And I kind of like missed how that specific 3414 thing referenced what he needed to know. Like I missed the part where
because
it's
it's a
just-
military strategy.
it's like a military
To a
strategy that
drumbeat.
specifies I'm coming out of a hole on another ship now.
It was like a drum beat to do with an oncoming army or something like that. It was specific to their situation, but it was another callback to Burnham having researched the Kelleran society.
Like, I
to
get
know
it.
more about
It's a
him.
way for us to know that Michael really understands her first
Yeah.
officer, and I
Uh-huh.
totally understand it. But we already had that moment earlier. she already established that she knows about his culture earlier in the episode. But this is like a strong, like, yeah, I referenced this thing that you're supposed to just immediately like, how would you know? Anyway.
Chekhov's cultural research.
I don't know.
Historical database.
It did go by really, really fast.
I'm with you. And it's quite a classic Star Trek cliche thing, this very specific thing to reference back to.
Yeah, and I really, I want to understand it. I really do. But it's in that kind of section where they're walking, talking back to the room to talk about Cho. And it's in that walk and talk where he's like, I'm really impressed that you knew about this part of this thing that I did that happened in history or a poem. I don't remember what it was.
Yep.
Anyway,
it's hexagonal stuff. You don't need to know about
That's
it.
Right. That's right. It's too many words.
This is probably my biggest sin of the entire episode. Probably the biggest sin of the whole season is that you put that fucking ship in the trailer, you bastards.
Oh.
Yeah, the Constitution class ship. We don't know if it's the Defiant or the Enterprise or the Endeavor or whatever it is. We don't know it's ISS. We just know that it's Enterprise looking, and it's in this season on Discovery trailer thing, and it's coming out of the sphincter. So it was spoiled for me. I knew it was coming. As soon as I saw them go into the nebula, I was like, this is where we're going to see it because the color of the gases match. So
you were spoiled. Oh,
I was spoiled on it, but it's there's no need. It's a great reveal. And also I'm not watching because you showed me that in the trailer. Like that didn't affect whether I was going to watch this season or not. And if it was supposed to do that, you don't have a lot of faith. It shows a lack of faith in the story that you're telling if you need to dangle little things like that in front of me. So yeah, just let it be a better surprise, and just let it hang there on its own merit instead of putting it in the trailer.
Yeah. Now, this is not a sin. This is one that I would have to ask about because I don't understand. But who are Detmer and Owo?
Weishikun. Yeah,
because it's like a little casual mention at the end, and because I don't watch the show, I don't feel like I can actually send this part. But it's like we're gonna put these guys on this ship and then send the USS bad guy, the ISS Nope back to the place so that it can probably become a museum of some kind.
I would love that so much. So Weishikun
and what kind of Terran stuff are they gonna pull out of that thing and learn? Anyway.
Well, either way, it's going to be 1,000 years out of date, but it's still really interesting. Like I love the Enterprise. I actually do like the Enterprise. Now, or this version of the Enterprise. I love that this version of the Enterprise now exists in the Discovery universe as well. It's just it's fun to have hanging around.
It's going to be out there.
Detmer and Weishikun, we have seen them in last week's episode. They were arguing with Burnham, and they were really offended that she was going to be captain. They're the two women that sit at the front of the ship.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about now. She has the little thing, the eyepiece.
Exactly. And the Weishikun has really cool hair. So yeah, and we love them. We fucking love them. They're the closest we have to Geordi and Data.
Oh,
where they're
that's fun.
They're really buddy.
Wait, have I seen them except for in the flashback? Or in the time travel? I don't think I've seen them.
They may have been walking around in the conference in the first episode. One of my ongoing sins is that they aren't in it enough. They're two people we aren't spending enough time with. I kind of get it for Weishikun because the actor that plays her is directing a lot, so she shifted into a big directing role for Discovery. Totally get it. But they have such a fun dynamic. They're so fun together. Detmer is this maverick Top Gun pilot. Weishikun is a fighter and just really cool. And yeah, we just don't.
So then this is just them not being here enough for me to see them.
Not, 100%.
Which we've already seen the show for not showing us the crew enough. So I guess we could specify them.
Yep. Yeah. Specify them specifically. The shuttle is bullshit that they escape on that medical shuttle.
Yeah. So
why is that still there?
They have a warp capable shuttle that they didn't know about to get off earlier.
Yeah, it's a medical shuttle that they found that they escaped with because of reasons. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, indeed.
Wow. Yeah, that was sure convenient.
It would have been cooler if they stole the Enterprise, to be honest. They beamed them off and then ran away in the ISS Enterprise. But I guess they wouldn't get far because it's fucked up.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much sinned it. There's like little nitpicky things I could definitely talk about. Did you understand the reference to the chameleon stuffed toy?
No,
Okay.
I didn't. I felt like I should. I felt like it was deliberate.
Was
but I
that
didn't.
somebody's room we were supposed to have a connection to?
Perhaps I need to rewatch There's an episode where we go. There's an episode in TOS where we are on the ISS Enterprise, in its prime. Bad choice of words. In its when it's doing things, and maybe there's a chameleon in there somewhere.
Yeah. And then she picks up a necklace as well.
Oh, that's just to hide the fragment that she has.
And the fragment is from her communicator so that if they scan it, they can see future tech.
She can pretend that it's something from their universe that is the clue. Yeah.
That's the part that I followed, and I thought that was a decent payoff within the episode, like as to what she was doing.
Yeah, that's a good tactic.
But there's got to be something about what was on that locket too. Like, that there's a picture that was like put in there.
I couldn't see what the picture was. Yeah. We did get to see it, but I couldn't see who it was. Might have been Spock, actually. But I can't.
Wouldn't it be interesting if that was? I don't know. I thought I didn't know if it was hers. Like,
yeah, I kind of thought it might be, but I didn't get a good look at the picture.
That's kind of sweet.
The other with the necklace thing, man, just tell Book your plan. Like, tell Book that's your plan, because what if he looked around and just given it away, just as like an instinct? Just like, huh? I was like, well, thanks, Book. Thanks for giving it away.
Yeah, just kind of like you're walking, talking anyway. If you have time to talk about how you're feeling about each other, you have time to be like.
Unless she doesn't fully trust him, but then you've got bigger problems.
I don't.
My last sin, we kind of mentioned it in the episode, was just how these clues are turning out to be bullshit, and how the people that are playing them, there's no way of guaranteeing that the Borg aren't going to find these clues and just be really smart about it. Like, all of your puzzles, they don't prevent an evil person from finding the clues and using the weapon. Like, the lessons you're teaching, there's no guarantee that's going to teach anybody to do the right thing, as evidenced by Locke and Moll. Like, Moll isn't learning the lessons that you're teaching her. She's just getting the clues and then moving on. So it seems weird. Just destroy it all. If you don't want it to be used, destroy everything. There's got to be some good payoff for why the scientists hid the clues this way, because it's not proving that a good person is going to find the tech.
Are you ready to go on to predictions?
Yeah, let's do it. If that's everything, let's head over to the ready room for some predictions. This is the part of the show where we nope.
This is the part of the show where we nope.
We nope. Welcome to Captain's...
Wow. Are you okay?
No, I'm really hungry.
Me
Welcome
too.
to the Captain's Ready Room, where we hear your predictions. Nope.
Wow.
I'm literally reading it in front of me and just saying different words.
Do you want me to oh, I wonder if I should add something to our show where I can hit a button and it goes beep, like a little retake.
That'd be amazing.
Like beep. And then you're just like, and you do it again.
You've just described the outtakes for the show.
Yeah. But for the live show.
The live show. Nice. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the Captain's Ready Room, where we hear our predictions for the rest of the season and bask in our Q-like glory for anything that we've previously predicted, that we previously said has come true previously.
Which we kind of did. We kind of did that.
Did already with the Breen.
Kind of did a little bit.
No, we can't claim.
But I want to go forward, and I want to ask you this: what do you think the liquid is?
I think the liquid.
It's a changeling.
Yeah, it's a changeling. I don't think the liquid is a changeling.
That's kind of sad. I kind of want it to be like a little changeling. Like, is that enough liquid for a changeling? A little bitty one?
I don't know. They fit into a vase. I haven't seen them fall into stay into something that small.
It's not a bucket, but it's
not a bucket.
It's bucket-esque.
Very cool. If that was Odo, I would. Well, wait.
It's
Sorry,
Odo.
Broke my brain. No, the actor that played Odo died, so it can't be Renee. It would have to be another changeling, I think. It would be strange considering season 3 of Picard was based around changelings as well. That would be weird.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. But everyone's forgotten about that.
I think this is going to be specific, a sample of the DNA that was used to seed the planet.
That's what the chat said. Whoa.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be DNA that they use to seed the universe, and I think embedded in it is going to be the coordinates for the next clue. That's usually the DNA will be resequenced and it will give coordinates that are hidden in there.
Some kind of special code in the protein strands. Yada yada, says Slab. Oh my god, they're gonna yada yada the protein
Wait,
stuff.
they're gonna yada yada something? No, in Star Trek, never.
Okay,
that's my big one.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I wasn't sure what it was. I kind of want it to just be water.
It would be great. I want it to be Romulan ale. It's Romulan ale. That's what it is.
Wouldn't that be really funny?
Romulan ale. That would be incredible.
Oh, the chat pointed out that they said that there's 3 organics in sickbay.
Well, the fact that Burnham didn't react to that more made me think that she just picked up 3 signals. Like,
but what if it is alive? What if it is?
It would be great if it's a changeling.
So cool.
It'd be fucking awesome.
Oh, that'd be so fucking cool, right?
Really, really cool.
Oh man, 3 signatures. Are signatures different than organics?
I thought she meant it was 3 signatures from their universe.
Oh, sci-fi Bernie. Maul is preggers. Oh, what if it is? Oh my god, and she's having a half whatever she is, half brie baby.
That doesn't make any sense though.
It could. It could make sense.
Would have said, hey,
this is science fiction. Okay, well.
Yeah, that's what I figured, that it was signatures from their universe. Next week's episode, would you like to know the title to help with your prediction?
Oh, because a signature is an item as well as a person, and the item would have been the clue.
And things from the mirror universe have a different quantum signature.
Oh, god damn it. Well, there goes that idea, and that other idea, and then also the third idea. That was kind of exciting. I mean, doing predictions with a live chat is thrilling. That was super fun. Yeah. I loved it. I don't know what it is. I'm thinking about. I think you're right. I think it's DNA, though. I think you're right.
It's got to be.
But I really want it to be like a little tiny changeling, like a little fairy-sized, with little wings.
Then it could get even bigger.
So cute.
It would sound like the Enterprise.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would love it to be a fairy. I'd love it to be Tinkerbell.
Oh,
cross over into Disney.
Right.
Would you like to know next week's episode title?
Yes, please.
The next episode is called Whistle Speak.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again, please?
Whistle Speak.
Whistle Speak.
Whistle Speak.
Hey, honey.
Whistle Speak.
Oh, what is that fucking
No
mean?
idea. Haven't got a clue. I'll have to Google it.
I don't know how to interpret anything. Like, I'm guessing, wouldn't it be great if they discovered a new creature, like a new species on the next one, and that had a way of talking that was whistle speak?
It would be amazing. The entire episode is just literally whistles. That would be amazing.
I mean, I wouldn't really like that very much, but they would maybe do what they did with the Breen, where they kind of had them speaking their own speak, and then they can kind of flip over into, so...
I think it's going to be a code of some sort. It's going to be a code that they have to decipher.
Well, music? Oh my God, is it going to be a musical?
Could be a musical episode. I think they would have advertised that a bit more. My
spoiler for those of us who don't watch anything. Thanks, Ian.
Sorry. One of what was it? One of the themes they haven't touched on yet, I think, is communication. So I think the next clue might require them to communicate with an alien species that speaks in a way that the universal translator can't get to. It's going to be their Darmok episode, is what I would expect.
Oh, great.
I'm predicting a reference to Darmok.
But there was also that episode, I think it was one of the first episodes of Strange New Worlds, where Spock and Uhura had to sing in the cave to communicate.
In the comet, yeah.
Yeah, and that just
Ethan
like
Peck's
that.
Beautiful baritone. Yeah.
Oh, Ethan Peck.
Yeah. No Ethan Peck this episode. No Tig Notaro.
Yeah, I should have sinned the show for that.
Yeah.
No Fred. God damn it. Yeah, I think it's going to be a communication thing. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that'll be the crux of it.
As far as like relationally, I'm seeing a conversation between the Doctor about science and religion. Maybe they're going to kind of press on that a little bit.
Spiritualism, I think.
Yeah. So I'm kind of hopeful. There might be some more momentum on Michael and Raynor having to get along. It was really interesting because I kind of thought that they were going to be really trying to connect more in this episode, but they were immediately separated again. So we really don't see them arguing about what to do. In fact, he actually took her to the ready room or wherever to say, hey, I don't think you should be going on a mission, which by the way was another sin. But that happens all the time.
Oh, I totally forgot to mention that. Yeah. It's the sin. It's actually sin removal because he finally says the captain should not be going on this mission, but she goes anyway. There's no reason for Burnham to be on that mission. She should stay with the crew.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of got it, but at the same time, it just seems like that's just something that happens all the time. So it would be a captain must go on away mission cliche for sure. I'm trying to think about other things that we really need to see happening on the screen to sort of.
Oh, Saru, probably.
You think we're going to have a Saru callback? There hasn't been anything about the purists or whatever they were called.
I think we'll go back. We'll have a couple of scenes with Saru and the purists, and I think they're going to throw a spanner in the works.
Yeah. Moobsy might come over.
That would be a strong callback. We could get our first Lower Decks reference in another Star Trek series.
It's not the first one.
Something that Lower Decks creates that's referenced in another Star Trek? That hasn't happened yet.
Oh, I was thinking more about the crossover with the Strange New Worlds crew.
Oh, no. I mean specifically like that, because Lower Decks is such a reference fest. I think their ultimate honor would to have something they created be referenced in another episode of Star Trek. It'll happen eventually.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, I think that's our big swings for next week, our big predictions. If you have any or anything you'd like to email to the show, send it over to @captains. What?
No, go on.
Send it over to captainspod@cinemasins.com, @captainspodcs on X/Twitter, or to the CinemaSins Discord in the Captain's Pod channel. We have a nice spoiler discussion in there and a general Star Trek chat. Discord.gg/CinemaSins. What were you going to say, Ambassador?
I was going to say that we're enjoying reading them. So.
Oh, very, very much.
I'm glad we're doing this because you guys have some fun ideas about what might be happening.
Yeah. I love the big swings. And who knows, your next big swing could be the Breen. So send it in. Until next week, we will return at the regular time. If you want to catch us for the live show, live on Twitch, YouTube, the CSPN channel on YouTube. We go live on Twitter and X as well at 12:30 CST. And we will be covering Discovery Season 5, Episode 6, Whistle Speak. But until then, I'm Captain Ian, and it's a bottle of citrus mash all around from me.
And it's hi, I'm Danae. I like Latinum and long walks on the beach from me.
Live long and Podspa. Look at that.
Da-da-da.
We did the show.
We did it. We finished it all.
The thing. You guys had some awesome sins as usual.
Thank you. Yeah, we need to get to them all. But first, I'm going to take a quick little break. I'll be right back.
Goodbye, Danae. She's gone. She's left. Oh, she's flipping you all off. She's just giving you all of the birds. Whistle. Whistle speak. Whistle. Should I just start reading Lord of the Rings again? You think she'll mind? Oh, is the Dalek new? Do you want to see the Dalek? The Dalek isn't new. The Dalek, this is a 2007 remote control Dalek from when Doctor Who made its return. And then I think they re-released these, even though it doesn't look like the new Daleks. It looks like an old school one. But yeah, it was remote control. I don't think it works anymore. I've just turned it on. There's a button there that does something. Oh no, this is how you defeat a Dalek. You just start pulling off its things. You gonna work? You gonna do anything? No. It's definitely dead. Sorry. Yeah. No, you can't grate cheese with it. I would hurt you if you tried. Very disrespectful of a Dalek. I think you can, but carefully. I think that's the answer. Yeah, I was doing the cool whip. Cool whip. Whistle speak. Amazing. she's swearing at us. The ambassador has returned, and she's like making horrible fingers at you. All
Oh, yeah. What?
that's the horrible fingers.
Cool Whip. Cool Whip.
No, I don't. I need to buy one. I spent so much money on ships. I don't know if I can justify buying anymore. I think I'll wait until I've decided if I liked season 5.
This is why I
I'll
don't
buy
have
one.
collections. I have a assortment of things I have kept, but I don't have a collection, like where I'm trying to acquire something.
That sounds like
Do you know what I mean?
Sounds like semantics. You have a collection. It's just not. It
No.
doesn't have a
I think
theme.
they're different. I think it's different because I'm not actively collecting things. I have things that I keep. Like there's no theme to it. Yeah, like I don't collect bottles. I don't different colored bottles. I don't collect Star Trek ships. I don't collect.
You just keep things.
Yeah, I'm given things and then I keep track of them because I feel guilty for getting rid of the things that I have. But I'm getting better at it. Oh, I've thrown so many things away. It feels so good.
Good work.
Thank you. I have to. I feel like the walls are caving in. Yes, exactly, Zero. This is when that show aired. I don't know if it was actually when it aired. All I can say is that when I first watched that show, I changed my life after that. I was like, I need to be careful because my mother is a hoarder, but not quite like that. Like she has some limits. I stopped acquiring new things the same way because people would maybe like get rid of stuff. I'm like, well, you just can't throw that away. I'll take it. And I stopped doing stuff like that after watching that show. Woof. That show was crazy.
It's fair. It's a wake up call.
Question for everyone. Who is your guys' favorite captain from Discovery only?
It's going to be tricky for Danae because I don't think you've seen many. Mine is Giorgio, without a doubt. That's Michelle
from
Yeoh
Discovery
character.
Is Pike on a Discovery captain?
Oh yeah, he was in season 2. He was introduced in season 2 as captain of the Enterprise and ends up taking over Discovery for a lot of it.
Oh,
yeah. Pike's a cheat answer.
But is Pike the same? Is our same Pike?
That's our Pike. Yeah, they did
same person,
same actor. Yeah, Anson Mount.
Oh,
yeah.
fun!
Yeah, and then they immediately gave him a spin-off. So him, Spock, number 1, they're in season 2 of Discovery.
Whoa!
Yeah, and then you get the spin-off.
Well, that's pretty cool.
I like Giorgio. I want Captain Giorgio. She was incredible. She was so good. She was amazing. She would be my pick. Yes, it is. It's a cheat. Pike is a cheat. Absolutely a cheat.
Why is Pike a cheat? That totally counts.
Because he's obviously the best. If it's not Pike, who's your favorite captain that isn't Pike? Because the answer is Pike.
Yeah, that's that. You can't limit that.
Yes, I can. Watch me.
Wow. Okay, yeah, Saru. That's it.
Saru's a good one. Saru's good. Yeah. Picard does not count. Yeah, Lorca's a good one. Lorca was so good. So Lorca was played by the same guy who plays Malfoy's dad in the Harry Potter movies. If you've seen the Harry Potter movies today.
I've read the books.
Lucius Malfoy. He's very, very, very good. Excellent. Jason Isaacs. He's very, very good. I will head into the starred messages. Phil said that the Enterprise should look more TOS than Strange New Worlds. And I think that's just an eyeball thing. Like, I think it does. I think to everybody in the universe, it looks the same. It's just updated for us. That's my, inside my head. It's not that they look different. It's... Unless you mean, eventually they change. It's going to evolve to become more like the TOS set. But yeah, I think that's just, it's a visual thing that they're choosing to do.
There you go.
I think it looks amazing. It's beautiful.
This one is Breen versus Moopsy. Did you do this while I was gone?
I didn't know. Oopsie. Not a
You
tricky
think
one.
so?
Yeah. Green have bones. Oh, maybe not in their new form. Maybe their new faces don't have bones.
I was gonna say because it looks like when they're Jello, I don't think they have bones, but it's not. We don't know for sure because then how else are they like holding themselves
you know
upright?
nothing. Yeah. How are they cohesing together?
How are they cohesing?
It's important.
It is important. Yeah. So I think it's gonna be Moopsy. Yeah.
Lloydie just said Ian Lavender. Are you commanding me?
Ian
To
Lavender.
Ian Lavender now. I don't know what that means.
Computer.
Watch. That's how we do it.
I have a couple things that I'm trying to do real quick.
Oh, you're good. Is that Picard's jacket I see in Ian's background? It is. It's my Picard action jacket. That is it. I love it so much.
What do you mean action jacket? Does that?
Well, it's the one that he like wears to be more maneuverable. He like wears it on away missions, and yeah, it's his commando jacket. Not really, but I think it's a good description.
Action
for
meaning
it.
like it's when he's doing.
He means business.
Okay.
He's being call to arms. Correct, David. They did technically go to the mirror universe, but my prediction was still spot on. Lodea had a couple of corrections for me. Just jump back into the live chat, see if I missed anything. It is the best part of Darmok, I agree. Lodea said, oh, I'm doing this in the wrong order. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Adira isn't the first human to carry a symbiont. Riker was. Very true. Riker did technically carry a Trill symbiont before the Trill were the Trill that we know them to be now. When the Trill were introduced, they looked a little bit different, but they still had.
Were they wormy?
Thing. They still had the worms. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't really explain how they now look different. And this was quite a big one that I got wrong. Spock, and I may put this at the top of next week's episode as well. Spock does know that Burnham and the rest of the crew of the Discovery went to the future and didn't die. The Enterprise came up with a destruction cover-up in the first place. So Spock is aware that Burnham is alive, but in the future. So just as good as dead to him. But it is an important distinction.
This is the stuff that you guys know that I don't know.
Yeah.
That's okay. Here's a question. Why is there so many Zenkathy talk?
Zenkathy talk. Because at the end of episode 3, they were heading towards Zenkathy space to pursue the next clue. And this wormhole is in Zenkathy space. So they were negotiating for the Discovery to have access to Zenkathy space to follow the clue. And that's just been glossed over now. We've just ignored the Zenkathy entirely. It sounds like they're just going to be a name drop. And the species that we actually get to know more about is the Breen. It's amazing. There's a bit of a spin around. But yeah, disappointing that we're not going to it looks like we're not going to see the Zenkathy. Unless that's the species that they have to whistle speak with next week, perhaps.
I'm really nervous about the whistle speak thing. What if it's a super annoying sound?
This is why I deliberately haven't whistled, because whistling is very annoying in audio stuff.
Danae, tell us your new animal adventures. Well, there's not really like a new adventure. I don't know. To me, it's adventurous, but the cat has been slowly getting closer to the dogs, and the dogs have been doing very, very good. They really want to smell this cat. They want him to be on the floor, and they want to sniff him, and the cat, of course, needs some space. But a few nights ago, thunderstorm was over. I decided to open up my bedroom door. And so the cat came into my bedroom and slept in the bed with 2 dogs and it's
a big deal.
It was a big deal. And my favorite part was I had one dog on one side of my legs, and then the cat was on the other side of my legs. And they were both belly up wanting to be pet. But I was petting the dog, and so the cat reaches over, grabs my hand, and pulls over to his side and boops the dog on the nose. I don't know if the boop was on purpose, but to me it seemed like it was on purpose.
Amazing.
It was really, really sweet. And so I also have news about the cat jumping up on my shoulders. I spoke to my neighbor and I said that I thought it was really cool that they had trained their cat to jump on shoulders. And she looked at me with a blank stare and said, I haven't taught my cat how to do that. So
Just loves your shoulder.
Thunderstorm has jumped on my shoulders twice. And the second time he laid down like a cat shawl. And that is not something he's ever done to his actual owners before. So those are my updates. I don't have any other animals. There is a chance that we're going to be getting the class pet for part of summer break.
It's a leopard.
I don't know. I don't know how to handle that very well.
Just don't kill it. That's how you handle it.
I think I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Even though I said I would do it, I think I'm going to say no. I don't want to be responsible for killing hermit crabs, although
She will be so
they're
disappointed.
easy to replace, right? Like I could just do the whole goldfish
Yeah, it's not like a
switcheroo
cat.
thing.
Yeah, it's like I think it's even easier than a goldfish. Like super easy to switch out.
Yeah.
This is a great sin from Exponents 2046. If Discovery continues to rely on TOS material, it should at least try harder to represent it correctly. The captain's chair on the ISS Enterprise is high-backed. I didn't remember that. That's amazing. They got the wrong chair. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. It's the kind of sinning content I'm here for.
Yeah. Pretty freaking awesome, honestly.
Oh, I'm getting sinned. They aren't easy to replace because their shells are very unique. Just say it changed its shell.
Can I just rip it out of
changed
its
its shell
shell
over
and
the
just
summer.
shove it into another shell?
Yeah, no, I think that will kill it.
I was
but you can just say
kidding.
it chose to have one.
That was a joke.
Yeah. Let's see, what else have we got? Did the Moopsie. And Kathy. Yeah, that's pretty much all of them. Hi there. Welcome
I
back.
think there's 4 hermit crabs total.
Wow.
Ian, get a hamster. This is a great idea.
I'm not getting a hamster.
Do they stink? They kinda
Yeah,
stink,
no,
don't
their
they?
cages smell they smell great when you clean them out because it's that fresh sawdust smell. But I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hamsters in total, and they're fine. They're just boring.
There are 4
There are
hermit
4 lots.
crabs. A hamster with a Borg eye. What are we
are
need
we
to have
doing?
somebody who just draw. You know what? That's like something to send to an AI. Please show me a hamster with one eye.
Oh God, no!
Oh, show me a hamster reimagined as a Borg.
That'd be amazing. She's
Should I
gonna
try
go
to
and
do
do it
this?
right now. Yeah.
Should I try to
No.
do this?
Don't do it.
Why
Nope.
not?
Because AI stuff. Loda, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad. I love the corrections and I need them. I can't remember everything from Discovery. It's too much. Too much.
I gotta know. I gotta know. Okay, so what's the prompt that I'm gonna do here? Are you ready for this? We're doing this. Okay, so I'm gonna say, imagine
All the people.
an adorable hamster. Where is he? Like in the world, or is he at a restaurant? Is he is he eating?
Yeah,
Where is he?
Sounds right.
Okay,
Yep.
at a burger joint, at a burger restaurant. An adorable hamster, an adorable Borg hamster, Borg from Star Trek, hamster. Okay, at a burger restaurant. Eating spaghetti. Okay. Spag head. Now listen, I don't want to just do the Borg hamster. I don't want to make it easy. I want to try to
Borg hamster.
yeah. Oh yeah. I like that verbiage better. An adorable hamster assimilated by the Borg
Oh, there we go. Getting very specific. Yep.
of the Star Trek Borg. Star Trek Borg.
Yeah, not the singer Bjorn.
Okay. Oh, fighting Moopsie. I think we need to. He's eating spaghetti. He's eating spaghetti. I'm a little nervous about this, but you know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna figure it out. I did recently test how its Star Trek knowledge would work, and I asked it to show me the USS Enterprise from Star Trek fighting a TARDIS from Doctor Who in an epic space battle. I did test it a little bit. It might have trouble with a spaghetti. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's coming in. Oh no. Okay. Oh my god. Oh no.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm ready. It's it's the first one that kills it. Okay. Okay. I'm almost ready. I'm getting the share set up. Ooh. Is this working? Yeah, this is working.
Oh my god. I'm struggling to get past the
Okay,
adorableness
look
of
at-
the hamster eating spaghetti.
Look at this.
It's just got a backpack on.
It's a little board. Like, it's definitely not what I expected.
No,
Right?
why does that one have a cape? It looks like
I
Darth
don't
Vader.
know. I don't know, but it's great. And then look at like down here we got these guys. Now this is definitely needs to be reborg. Like there's like he's definitely not.
Why is that? Why is the spaghetti in a hot dog bun?
Because I said that he was in a hamburger restaurant eating spaghetti. It was very convoluted.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. There we go.
Yeah.
He looks adorable.
Look at this little
Look at
Darth
him.
hamster.
He's so happy.
This
Eating
first one with this
pasta.
pack though. Look at
He
him.
looks like a Ghostbuster.
It does. Yeah. I feel like I should like it definitely we're missing some Borg. Maybe I should
we
do like
wanted
a
some
more
headpiece.
maybe I
Yeah.
should do like it's the spaghetti though. The spaghetti is
Spaghetti's
killing me.
amazing.
Look at
Yeah.
him eating the spaghetti.
He's so happy.
He is so happy. Put him on the bridge of the Enterprise. Let's see if we can do this. Okay. Well, I gave it a real simple prompt this time. I know. What is that? Let me go back over there while this works on its next image. Look
It
at
should
this.
not be picking up the spaghetti, whatever it is. That's like on there with super glue.
It's so cute. Look at his little hands. His little like that's pretty cute. This like little superhero guy is adorable.
I want to know what the V stands for.
Very adorable.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. Now it's not really getting the Borg stuff. Like it is struggling to do the Borg stuff.
Right.
I will say. Like it's not getting it. So here's the updated images for us.
Oh, he's so little. He's so tiny.
It's really cute. Like this is super cute, and I
Head
like
is way too big. Look at that first one.
look at how chunky he is. He's so round.
Chunky. He's a chunky boy.
But I
He
kind of
doesn't know
like
what buttons to press.
I kind of like this version of the bridge because you got these kind of
Yeah.
wacky things. It's not too bad.
It looks like the bridge from Enterprise.
Just right, Borg. Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally with you, Flyway. I wanted to see a bit of like a Borgification.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try one more time.
7 of 9. A hamster.
Imagine a mashup of a Borg from Star Trek and a hamster. Let's just do something simple. It does look like it's part Tribble. It isn't the Enterprise, but it's really unique. It does look more like a cockpit. The last one,
Yeah.
this one here looks a bit like a shuttle. This one right here kind of looks like they're on the shuttle.
Yeah. Looks a bit Millennium Falcon-y.
Mm-hmm. Cybernetic definitely would be a better prompt. Oh, this is looking a little darker. My prompt on this one is literally just a mashup of a Borg from Star Trek and a hamster. We're definitely closer now. It is there's definitely an option here. Oh Lord Jesus, this just got dark. All right, you guys ready for this one? Look at this guy on the bottom left.
Oh wow, yeah, that's close. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to simplify
That's
it
the
there.
one.
That's
He
it.
does not look happy. They look much less happy.
They're really serious.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, that's him though, right? This guy just looks like he's just going to space.
He's ready to fight the Borg.
This guy, yeah, these two at the top are more like spacesuit, whereas these are more the cybernetic we're looking for.
Yeah.
This guy, look at it. You can see it under his skin.
Oh gosh.
Look, like under his fur, I mean. That
He's
looks so badass.
He's no longer low cute us.
Oh, that's good. Look at this guy's wearing like a jetpack. Look at that arc reactor on his tummy.
Love that.
This is like going Rats of Nim on me, and I'm really uncomfortable. It is nightmare fuel,
It's a lot.
absolutely. This looks like XB.
Oh,
They're
look at
still
that.
fat.
Cool. Yeah.
100% they're still fat. Look at this chonky guy. Look at him. He's just this round hamster.
Big chunk.
It's crazy too that it's like they've got the veins in the ears, and this one's genuinely like a bunny rabbit, look like a little bunny face in a way.
Yeah, that's true.
It does have the delta on the chest.
Definitely felt some Star Trek.
Yeah. That's amazing. It's pretty cool, right? He does look a little squirrely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the two top are heroes. Yeah, these are the heroes of the story. Bottom two, villains. Which one's the boss villain? I feel like it'd be this one because he's very much attached to like the queen's inner chamber.
Mm-hmm. He's not going anywhere.
No, yeah, he's like locked in. Yeah, he's the boss, 100%. Oh, these are so cute. You guys want to see the space battle that we attempted here? Here's what this one looks like. This is the space battle. My prompt on this one was the USS Enterprise versus the TARDIS. And so the one that's the closest is definitely the bottom right.
We kind of got a TARDIS in there, just a bit wonky.
It's very like on its side.
Yeah. You can tell it's the Strange New Worlds Enterprise as well.
Yeah. Check out this Enterprise though. It's like this long neck looking thing here.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Isn't it cool? You think the TARDIS would win, Eights? Probably.
Well, TARDIS has the advantage of traveling through time and being able to beam inside the Enterprise as well and just disappear.
Oh shit. Could it beam inside like a dangerous thing? Like something that's
it can just appear inside anywhere. Yeah.
So.
And it's indestructible as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's not good. I like all the explosion thing going on. You want more fat hamster? Okay, here you go. I want to go back to this guy. Look at this little chunky guy.
The best one. He's so happy to be on the bridge.
He looks like he's so fat his arms can't go down. Like they're just completely stuck out.
He looks like the captain just asked him to set a course and he has no idea how to do that.
And he's like, what? I don't know which buttons to push.
I can't do these.
I think I actually tried a couple of different versions. I tried to get something more. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's the other one that I did. I think this was my first attempt. It's definitely got more, but this TARDIS looks like a bus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's definitely more
really
blue.
Struggled with TARDIS.
And look at this triple stack neck of this Enterprise looking thing.
Yeah.
You want a Moopsie versus a Borg hamster. Oh my gosh. Phil, I am using Midjourney. I think somebody else asked that question too.
That one on the top right looks like it's just made a new ship as well. It just added an entire other ship.
Oh, yeah, it's got like a shuttle thing going on down here.
Yeah.
This is a really interesting Enterprise because look, it has this one nacelle on the top, It has a nacelle down here, and then more of it's like existing down in the explosion. It's very weird. It's like it's definitely imagining some weird stuff. This one looks really cool. I like this one. It's got this big kind of circular. Wasn't there a circular one that you showed me that was like the medical one recently?
Oh, the Pasteur.
Yeah. You're getting some. It's pretty cool, right? A little Star Destroyer. What is this? Is this another ship, or is this some guy that's like falling into oblivion? Yeah, that one. Yeah.
The Pasteur.
Did Ian say pasta?
Pasteur.
I think these look pretty cool.
Yeah.
The space battle ones. What do you guys think? It has 4 nacelles. Oh, yeah. I noticed that too. It's got a couple on top.
Yeah, went a bit loopy there. Didn't quite know where to put them.
This one over here appears to have just one, at least that we can see. I like this one. This might be my favorite because look in the back. It almost looks like a nebulous back here, but instead of it just being explosion debris. And this is the most TARDIS-esque, I feel.
Closest we got to a TARDIS.
Yeah. So I think this bottom right one might be my favorite. But I like the action of this one here.
Yeah, that's got some movement in it.
Yeah. Is that right? Well, now you guys know that I have an AI account. So maybe something that we can do every time is come up with a fun little AI thing to pop up there.
Fun prompt.
Yeah. I try not to use the prompts that specify pulling from an artist. I just ask the AI to tell me what it sees. Now, I did do this recently for a character idea, and they made every single female look like the poofiest lips, the tightest waist, the biggest boobs. And I'm like, wow. Wow, AI.
Yeah, it knows what the internet thinks it wants.
I had a friend and I were doing like an AI back and forth, like generated images, probably like 2 months ago, something like that. And he would send the image and I would send back comments and we were trying to kind of tweak it. This is before I had my own. I wanted to test myself because it's really interesting for me. I know it's controversial. And anyway, I kept my notes back to him were just like, make the woman less pretty. Give her some wrinkles. Like, let's try to make this look like more like a person. Like, and it just kept changing things and making it prettier and stranger. Yeah, but that's okay. It was fun. It was fun. We will be back next week for our normal schedule.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us and spending time with us. We enjoy this time with you guys so much, as you know. You can catch us on other platforms. I think both Ian and I are mostly just active here for this show, but you can catch more of the CinemaSins team on Tuesdays. They do a show called Recotopia with the 3 narrators for every one of the CinemaSins channels, and they talk about movies and shows that they recommend, and you can catch that either in podcast form or in a live form. And please hang out with us on Discord, and by us, we are there, at least like Ian and I were there. But it's really a place for the fans to gather, have suggestions and comments, share thoughts on the shows, etc. There's a spoilers group, so if you want to talk about the show because you've seen it first, like whatever you're watching, you can join over there. And that's where we post any scheduling updates that we have for you. So if we do have to change the schedule for any reason, you'll know about it in Discord and on Twitter first. So that
good luck, Slab. Good luck with your finals.
Oh my God. You can do it.
Yeah, an education.
You can do it. We love you guys. Live long and prosper. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. You're the best.